Hello everyone. Once again I welcome you to the TYBA special paper 4. In this video or in this lecture we are going to discuss the theory of imitation which is propagated by Greek philosopher Aristotle. So you know that Aristotle is the disciple of Plato. He also repeated the charges of his teacher or the tutor Plato. In theory of imitation, Aristotle tried to take his standpoint against the notion of Plato as far as the concept of imitation is concerned. So Aristotle was born in 383 BC and died in 322 BC. So he left Athens after the death of Plato. So Aristotle's theory of imitation he has propagated. There are imitation as a common principle of all arts. Then he propagated the theory from the point of view of medium of imitation, object of imitation and manner of imitation. So Aristotle thinks that or says that the imitation is the common principle of all fine arts. So we know that there are two types of arts, that is fine arts and useful arts. So arts like poetry, music, painting and sculpture comes under the category called fine arts. So Aristotle says that, or Aristotle put that it is a common principle of all arts. Imitation is the common principles. So same principle runs in all sort of fine arts. So fine arts can be in the form of poem, it can be in the form of painting, it can be in the form of music, or it can be in the form of sculpture. So common principle in all these things or in these fine arts is the imitation. So fine arts, all fine arts imitate something. Aristotle's theory of imitation is wider than the Plato's theory of imitation. We know that the Plato is the pioneer, the Plato is the first person to use the theory of mimetism or imitation, but Aristotle breathed a new life into the theory of mimesis. He broadened the theory of mimesis and he enlarged the scope of theory of mimesis. So Plato has equated, there is difference between the theory of mimesis propagated by Aristotle and theory of mimesis propagated by the Plato. So Plato equated poetry to painting. So this is the basic difference, the fundamental difference. According to the Plato, poetry is similar to painting, but Aristotle has equated poetry to music. So he has equated poetry to the music because both poetry and music contains a similar thing. There is a common principle between them, and that common principle is that both use verse, both use rhyme, both use rhythm, both has harmony. So that is why Aristotle equates poetry he equated music to poetry rather than painting. So Plato has equated painting and poetry. According to Plato, poetry and painting are same. On the contrary, Aristotle says that poetry and painting are not the same, but poetry and music are the same, because the common features of the poetry and painting is that there is use of words, there is use of harmony, there is rhythm and rhyme. Then musicians do not imitate the outer world or outer form of human feelings. On the contrary, the musicians present the inward world of human feelings, passions and emotions. So musicians do not represent appearances, musicians do not depict the outer form. On the contrary, it depicts the inward feelings of humans. They depict the passions, they depict the emotions, they depict the feelings of human beings. All fine arts differ from one another in three ways. And these three ways are manner of imitation, medium of imitation, and object of imitation. So in the first thing that is put here by Aristotle is that he says that mimesis or imitation is the common principle of all arts, particularly fine arts. And then he take his standpoints and he compares the poetry to music rather than to the painting. Then he talks about how the common feature, though there is a common feature of imitation is the common principle of all fine arts, but they differ in three aspects, and three aspects are medium of imitation, object of imitation, and manner of imitation. So imitation means mimesis. The mimesis is the Greek word and it means imitation. So Plato is the originator, Plato is the pioneer of the word mimesis, but Aristotle, his disciple, broadened it, breathed life into the meaning of mimesis or the notion of mimesis. So now we are discuss about how each art differs from one another as far as three things are concerned, that is, they are medium of imitation, object of imitation, and manner of imitations. So some mediums are form, color, and sound. The medium of imitation of fine arts can be form and color and sounds. So form and color is the medium of imitation of painting. In painting, the painters or the artists are going to use to imitate, to present the picture of the reality by using form and color. On the contrary, sound is the medium of imitation of musicians and painting. So there is a difference between the fine arts as far as the medium of imitation is concerned, and the difference is that painters or the painting takes form and color. On the contrary, musicians and the poets make use of sounds. So painter imitates through color, painter imitates through form. On the contrary, poet imitates through sound. Then writers or artists use rhythm, language, and harmony. So there is a use of words, there is use of language, there is the harmony. As far as the medium of imitation is concerned, the artist or the poets are going to use language, harmony, and rhythm. So imitation, according to Aristotle, imitation is not photographic process. It is a creative process. It is not a mere ideal depiction of the truth, but it is a creative. He says that it is a creative process. It is not a photographic representation of reality. Since it is a creative process, it is different from the Plato's theory of mimesis. So artists or the poets, because it is a creative process, they represent the inner life. Musicians also imitate through rhythm and harmony. So medium of imitation differs from one art to other art. So medium of imitation of the painters is color and form. On the contrary, as far as the medium of imitation of poets and musicians are concerned, the medium of imitation is language, then rhythm, sound, and harmony. In this sense, poetry is similar to music because both use the same thing as far as the imitation is concerned. Then the second thing that is discussed by Aristotle while discussing the theory of mimesis or theory of imitation, that is object of imitation. So object of imitation is human beings. It means that object of imitation are men in action. So object of the imitation as far as the poetry is concerned, it deals with the men in action. It means it depicts the men performing or experiencing something. Men may be either good or bad. So the poetic or the poetry is different as far as the object of imitations are concerned. In object of imitation, the poets or the poetry is going to depict the main in action. It means they are going to present the main doing something or performing something. On the, you can say they can depict the main as better or worse, good or bad than they are. So arts represent human beings either better or worse than they really are. So artistic creation is there. Artists make use of creation. The creativity is there. So they can represent the human beings better or worse than they actually are. It means that there can be representation of human beings. It can be presented as good than he is, or he can be presented as worse than he is in actual life. So there is a creative process, and because of that creative process, human beings can be presented either better or worse. Human beings may be represented as lower than the reality or better than the reality. So reality will be different, but the actual presentation of human beings in works of art or in the poems can be higher or can be lower than the actual one. So tragedy represents men better than they are. So in tragedy men are presented better than they actual are. On the contrary, human beings are presented in comedy lower than they are. So comedy presents them lower than reality. The tragedy presents human beings higher than the reality. The poet chooses and orders his material and recreates reality. So here is the recreation. Artists try to recreate reality by choosing the material, by choosing the appropriate words, by choosing the appropriate rhythm, by choosing appropriate harmony, and he may represent the world better than it is, or he represents the human beings bad than they are. So creative process is there, and this creative process helps the artist to present the human beings more good or bad than their actual status or conditions. While creating something, while composing a poem, the illogical or accidental is eliminated. So whatever illogical or accidental occurs in the poem, that is eliminated by the creator or the poet while presenting the poem. Then art is not a function of poet to relate what has happened. The function of poet is not just related to what has happened, but what may happen according to the laws of probability and necessity. So history, here also the Aristotle tells about the difference between the history and poetry. So history deals with particular. History tells us what has happened. But as far as the poetic creation is concerned, poetry may deals with what may happen, and this happening is related on this happening is based on the laws of necessity and probability. The third point here presented by the Aristotle as far as theories, mimesis or imitation is concerned, that is manner of imitation. So each art differs in manner of imitation. There are three modes of presentation as far as the poetry is concerned. The manner of imitation, the poets may use three types of mode to represent the object. So he can use the first person narrative. In first person narration, poet may use this narrative technique or the first person narrative can be used throughout the poem. Or in second narration, he may use the dialogue or narration, and by the dialogue by characters to some extent. So the second type is that there can be use of narration and there can be use of dialogue by the characters, and it will be not the entire poetry can be presented in the form of dialogue. To some extent there will be the use of dialogues in poem. Then third is the dramatic manner. So manner of imitation helps the poet to classify. The manner of imitation is useful for the poet to classify poetry into epic, narrative and descriptive types. The manner of imitation is useful for the poet to describe or categorize the poem. So the poem can be become a descriptive, poem can become epic, poem can be a dramatic by choosing the manner of imitation. He may make it epic, he may make it dramatic, or he make it a narrative. So dramatic poetry is divided into a tragedy and comedy on the basis of their objects of representation. So narrative poetry is further divided into two categories, that is tragedy and comedy, and this tragedy and comedy is made on the basis of the subjects of representation. So what type of subject is selected by the poet? On the basis of the subject is high, it will be tragedy. If the subject is low, it will be comedy. So in this way Aristotle has propagated his theory of imitation. So 3 points are important. First one is medium of imitation, object of imitation and manner of imitation.